Hello all of you awesome people out there, and welcome back to another super awesome and mega wicked cool video done by myself, Disowned Hero. And today I'm going to be taking my little Astero here and jumping into Wormhole space. Now wormholes can be quite intimidating for new players because there is absolutely no safety net whatsoever the way I look at it. So I'm going to be taking my little Astero here. I'm going to show you all the mods you'll need to find a wormhole, and then the kind of procedures I go through whilst I'm in a wormhole to try and stay safe. Before I go any further though, I just want to make everyone aware that I do have a little corp up and running. It's called Disowned Heroes. It's a cool, only a little corp, but it's a cool little corp, and we have some really awesome guys in there. Everyone's happy, you know, chatting away and helping each other out. So if you do fancy joining a new player-friendly corporation and maybe having a chat with me and maybe teaming up with a few people who want to do the same thing you do, then send Disowned Hero here a message, or simply you can find the corp in the there is a little corporation window. It is in there, you'll be able to find it and join up that way. I don't ask for any APIs or nothing, though I do like to chat to people before they actually join. Okay, so a lot of you guys know these wormholes as the annoying things you keep scanning down whilst you're looking for data, relic, and also combat sites. They can be found across high, low, and null security space, and they essentially lead to systems which are inaccessible via the Stargate. You have to use these wormholes to enter and exit them. Inside, the systems are completely unclaimable, so no one owns them. If you do want to try and own one, basically you have to have a force large enough in there all the time to be able to annihilate anyone that comes into it, which is pretty difficult unless you're like a pretty big corp. And to be honest, I very rarely run into corps inside wormholes. So why would you want to go to a wormhole? Well, basically they can act as kind of shortcuts to different parts of space. If you're maybe jumping, say, 50 jumps across New Eden, it might be easier to find a wormhole, go through 3 or 4 of them, and pop out close to where you want to go. They also give you access to sites which can be compared to nullsec value and difficulty, so that's my opinion. If you find like a relic site or a data site, the loot you get from them can be just as valuable, if not more valuable, than the ones you'll find in nullsec. And also, this is my opinion, but I find them fairly safe. I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but first we need to actually get out of this little station we're in here. I lost my words for a second. Then get out this station and we'll scan one down and we'll have a look at the fit and also a few modules you might need whilst you're, well, going in and out of these wormholes. Alright, so I'm in a typical high security space system here, so let's have a quick look at the fitting on my Astero here. Now the fitting itself actually isn't too important, but there's 2 modules on here I would most definitely recommend if you're going to be jumping into wormholes. One is a cloaking device, and that's because local in wormholes works slightly differently to how it does in every other system. But it essentially works exactly the same, except for there is no player list on the side, so you have no idea who's in system with you or if there's even anyone in system with you. So it's always good to be able to hide from D-scan using a cloaking device, because that's the only way anyone's going to know you're there. You also need to have a probe launcher, and you need to have some scanner probes. Scanner probes obviously come in handy when you're scanning down to cosmic signatures and stuff, but you also need them to be able to find the wormholes, and if you're inside you need them to find your way out. Don't rely on bookmarks all the time, because wormholes do move, they do jump about, they do close, and eventually you will jump into a system and have a wormhole close behind you and you'll have to find a completely different way out. We know that a wormhole usually leads to an unreachable system, and we know what we need in order to find one. So what we need to actually do now is scan one down and jump inside. In order to do that, we just open up the probe scanner window, which can be done by clicking this button down here, and then going to the left and clicking the probe scanner. So now we have this window. We need to make sure we have the scanner probes ready in our launcher, like we have down here, and we just simply click the launch in pinpoint formation button down there. So that's all of our probes now in space, as you can see in the overview. If we open up the little map, if it's not already open by default, by clicking this button, we can see the entire system and also a few signatures dotted about. Now I've already tried to scan a few things down, but they were both relic sites, so I've simply just hid them there. So let's say it can be a little bit daunting when you first start scanning, but to be honest, once you've scanned down a few things, you'll feel like an absolute pro. I'm just going to quickly go over how you scan things down, and well, like I say, it's not hard, but it'll just give you a quick little overview. So these are our probes. They're all represented by these blue spheres here. This is the area they're each going to be scanning, and we can move them around by simply moving this block about in the middle. So to scan something down, we simply double click a cosmic signature, and that'll center it in the middle of the map here, so I can move the map around however I want, and that'll stay in the middle. We also want to go to the top down view to begin with and simply drag the block over the center of the cosmic signature like that. Then go to the side view and using the up and down arrows, just move it to the y-axis is also in line with the center of the cosmic signature. And other than that, we simply click scan. Now I've changed a few of my shortcuts here to make scanning a bit easier, but you can't adjust the size of your scan probe radius by using this slider bar down here, and also scan by clicking the analysis button, but I think that takes too long. And luckily our first cosmic signature is actually a wormhole, so if we double click it again, that'll center it back in the middle of our screen here. I'm going to go back to the top down view. We can use the mouse wheel to zoom in a bit as well, and we just want to center it once again. Go to the side view and center it once again, and I'll make our probe size a little bit smaller, so I'm going to use the button down here for that, and then simply analyze again, and eventually we're going to go smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until the signal strength here reaches 100%. Once it's at 100%, we'll be able to warp to it. When it gets to about 50%, it'll usually tell you what the cosmic signature actually is. Now this one was really easy to scan down. Sometimes it'll take you 2 or 3 goes to scan something down, but yeah, this one only took 2. Something else to note as well is that the cosmic signatures can change in what they look like. For example, this one here actually has a red orb around it, so if I was scanning this one down, I'd need to center the probes as I did before, but I'd also need to make sure that the probes actually covered the entire kind of sphere around this cosmic site. So scanning like this probably wouldn't find anything. I'd probably have to go to maybe this size or this size to make sure everything in this red sphere is covered. Something else that they do sometimes is if you've, I wouldn't say scanned them wrong, but if you've scanned it but only just caught the actual cosmic signature, it will sometimes split. So you'll see that one cosmic signature will have 2 red dots, like say one here and one here with a line connecting them. What you want to do there, in my kind of experience, is pick the one that's furthest away from where you last scanned and center around that. If you don't find anything, then just go back to the other side and scan down the other red dots. That's pretty much everything when it comes to scanning. Like I say, it is easy, and once you've done it a few times, you'll get used to it and you'll feel like an absolute pro. So I'm going to remember to recover my probes. You don't want to leave them in space, you kind of need them, so click that button up here. I'm going to close all this down. I'm also going to remember to reload my probe launcher while I'm here in nice and safe high security space, and then actually need this open. And then I'm just going to simply warp to the unstable wormhole. And here is our wormhole. This is what they look like when they're actually in space, and sometimes you can tell where it's going to lead to by the image in the actual wormhole itself, but I've never been very good at doing that. So if we just right click it and then look in the info, it will show us everything we need to know about the wormhole itself. So they'll all begin by saying it's an unstable wormhole, and it will collapse after a few days. If it says it doesn't collapse after a few days, then it's a static, and it's basically exactly the same except for they don't decay and disappear. The next little line here, the next paragraph, is going to tell you where it's going to lead to. This wormhole leads to high security space, so it's just going to simply act as like a Stargate to some distant system somewhere, so it's not really of much use to us, but this is where it's going to lead to. The next little paragraphs here is how long the wormhole has left to live before it disappears, how many ships have passed through it, and what ships can actually go through it as well. So this one is beginning to decay and probably won't last another day. The wormhole has not yet had its stability significantly disrupted, which means it's not being used that much, and very large ships can pass through this wormhole sometimes, only smaller ships can go through. But basically if you just try and jump through it, it'll tell you if you can go through or not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and scan down another wormhole that does lead to wormhole space, and we'll take it from there. Just give me a few minutes, I'll see if I can find one. Alright, so I've actually managed to find a wormhole. I actually found a few, but they all seem to lead into normal systems like high sec and low sec. And obviously I wanted one that led into wormhole space. So I found this one here. If we have a quick look at the info, we can see it does lead to wormhole space, because it says here the wormhole seems to lead into unknown parts of space. I believe if it says it's going to lead into unknown parts of space, it's going to be either a C1, C2 or C3 system. And if it says it's going to lead into unknown dangerous parts or dangerous parts of space, or something similar to that, it's going to be a C4 or C5. Essentially, the higher the classification of wormhole, the more dangerous it's going to be when it comes to the combat sites and stuff like that. So a C5 is a lot more dangerous than a C1. So we're going to jump in here, but before I do, I'm just going to make sure everything is basically set up and ready. So what I want is my directional scanner, which is actually on my second screen. I'll bring over here so you guys can see. I want that readily available for me to use. I'm just going to put it there like that. I also want to have my, there we go, people and places window open, and I want the places tab ready to go as well. So my screen might look a little bit kind of claustrophobic at the moment. There's a lot of things going on, but trust me, you definitely want these two windows open and your probe scanner open as well. I want to make sure I've got my probes ready to go, have them loaded up now on this side, and that's it. I'm pretty much ready to jump in. So works pretty much the same as the Stargate really. We'll have the jump button up here, so if we click enter wormhole, and what I'll do is I'll go through my normal routine of when I go into a wormhole, and I'll try and walk you through it as best I can. So obviously, yeah, first we need to jump in. And you will always get this message pop up if you're leading to low or null security space or even wormhole space. It'll say, "Are you sure you want to go in?" So Concord might not be on the other side to protect you. So just click yes on that and we'll go in. Okay, so we're inside the wormhole, and the first thing you're going to want to do is check your D-scan, see if there's anything else about. You want to set to the maximum and also 360. And then next you want to actually bookmark your exit. So I'm simply going to save the location, call it exit, and put it somewhere easy so I'll be able to find it. For example, it's just in my personal locations here, so it pops up there. So you also need to remember that the wormholes work similar to the Stargate. So I do actually start off with a cloak which will last for a minute, so there's no need to rush around and panic. Next I'm going to open up my all tab here, and I'm going to pick something within 14 AU because I know there's nothing about, and I'm simply going to align to it and also drop my probes in pinpoint formation. Straight away I'm going to warp to whatever it is I'm aligned to within 100 kilometers, and I'm going to create another bookmark and simply call it safe. So when I'm about halfway there we go, I'm just going to drop that, and I'm going to reactivate my cloak as well, and that's pretty much it. That's all I do when I enter a wormhole. So I've got the exit saved so I know how to get out, I've got a safe created, and I've got my probes dropped ready to start scanning things down. Now you might notice that actually some of these were already scanned down. That's because the first time I jumped into this wormhole I was too busy focusing on what I need to actually talk to you guys and tell you guys that I actually forgot to bookmark the exit. So I basically warped off and I was like, oh no, I need to be able to find my way out. So I went actually back out and came back in and done it fresh. I actually had to do it about 2 or 3 times because I kept missing things out. It was actually quite hard to talk through what I was doing without missing things out. That's why some things are scanned down anyway. So what I'm going to do is warp back to the safe here. And I'm going to warp to within north. So I've got my cloak on. No one can see me anywhere in the system. I've got my cloak on. I have dropped my probes, and normally, I mean, it's took me a while this time, so obviously talking to you guys again, I would simply just pull them, well away from anything. So anyone who's checking their D-scan and looking for people won't see the probes, and they now can't see my ship because I'm cloaked up, and that's it. I'm in a wormhole. I've got my probes. I'm ready to start scanning things down, and I am basically feeling completely safe. And this is what I mean by I feel safe in wormhole space. No one knows I'm here, because if I look in local here, you'll see that it does work exactly the same. This is obviously I had to jump in and out a few times to get the explanation right for you guys. But yeah, I'd have no idea who's in local. There could be 50 people in here with me, so there could be like 2, there could be none. But I have no idea because there is no player list, and also anyone else who's in here doesn't know I'm here because there's also, again, no player list for them either. You can talk in local the same as you would in any other type of space, but I would highly recommend against it because everyone's going to know you're there, and to be honest, no one will come back to you because they all want to stay super secret and hidden. What else is there? So we've got at the top here, you'll see it's got a bit of a weird, unusual name. All wormholes will be called J and then a long number after them, so it's sometimes referred to as J space. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If we have a look in the probe scanner here, you can see there's quite a few sites here. We've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sites altogether. We've got a mixture of combat sites, ore sites, gas sites. There's a relic site here. And yeah, there's lots of good stuff in here. So if you'd, in fact, there's some more up here, so there's even more there. I've got 2 I haven't actually scanned down, more data sites. So there is a lot to be offered in wormhole space. I'd say I feel completely safe here. I know some guys on my corp I've been talking to, they don't like it. They've only had 2 or 3 experiences in wormholes, and each time they've been blown up or managed to warp into a completely full system and get annihilated. But if I have a look on my D-scan again, I've got absolutely nothing here. So what I would normally do now is I could simply just start scanning down all the signatures by bringing my probes back and just scan everything down. Then when I'm done, usually I would just, again, pull them to one side. Unless I'm actually leaving the system, I need to remember to take them with me, because while I am cloaked, I can't actually reload my probe scanner and I can't launch my probes while cloaked. So I obviously want to take my cloak off. Well, hardly ever. To be honest, I never want to take my cloak off unless I'm actually doing something. So that's pretty much it. That's wormhole space. So take what you will from it. If there's anything I've missed out which you'd like explaining in more detail, then let me know. If I've maybe got something wrong, or you guys think, you know, there's more that needs to be said, then again, let me know. Other than that, I just want to thank all you guys for watching. If you did like the video, then please hit the like button down below. If you're not already subscribed, then hit the subscribe buttons for some more awesome videos just like this one. And as always, I'll see you right here very soon in another video. Bye bye. Oh, and before you go, thanks for putting up with me as well. I've got a bit of a sore throat. I feel all bunged up, and to be honest, I feel out of breath all the time, so my voice might sound a little bit funny. But yeah, thanks for putting up for me. So yeah, see you soon.
397 mil kill. There's going to be a lot more on Z kill.
We're on a bit of a winner. Hopefully it carries on like this and we'll make some money. Please don't come back